good, everyone? It's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we're going to be talking about the Converse Shai 001 and 3 reasons on why you might want to avoid this model altogether. So without further ado, let's take a look. All right, so the first reason on why you might want to avoid this shoe altogether, and don't get it twisted, I love this model. There is a ton to love about this model, and we will go over that at the end of the video. But there are 3 reasons that I wouldn't say they're annoying, but for some people, they just might not work. And the first reason is the weight of this shoe. Now, for a modern basketball shoe, these are rather heavy. Keep in mind, this is a US size 10.5. For me, typically a shoe that's a 10.5 for me is between like 13 ounces and 14.5, or maybe 15 ounces for my size 10.5 in today's basketball shoes. But these come in at 17.35 and 17.2 ounces. So this shoe is really heavy. If you need a lightweight basketball shoe that's not going to feel heavy on foot, you might want to avoid this shoe altogether. And I think the main culprit for the overall weight of this shoe is the dual plastic TPU heel counters right here. You have one at the top and one at the bottom. That does add a little bit of extra clunk at the back of the shoe and just overall. But the weight of this shoe, the more that I play in it, is somewhat problematic. So keep that in mind if you're planning on picking a pair of these up. Now, the next reason you might want to avoid the Shai 001 from Converse is the fact that these are hot boxes on foot. Now, for this shoe right here, as far as the materials go, you are getting this really short-haired nubuck material wrapping all the way around the shoe. And then you kind of have this neoprene puffer material on top of the laces. And then inside of the shoe, you do have some mesh. Now, a lot of people are going to want to play with the shoe zipped up. So it's going to trap all of that hot air with inside of the shoe. And this shoe becomes a hot box on foot if you do have the zipper up. If you're willing to play with the zipper down, you do have all of this kind of mesh material right here, and you will get some airflow through the like pro combat like tongue, because you can see right through those holes right into the shoe. But as soon as you zip the shoe up, coupled with this puffer material and the nubuck, there was several times where I took these shoes off from playing like 2 to 3 hours of use, and I took my sock and I wrung them out, and I was getting a ton of water off my sock. Like, that's how hot this shoe is. So keep that in mind. If you don't like hot or heavy basketball shoes, those are 2 reasons on why you might want to avoid Shai's first signature shoe with Converse. And the last reason on why you might want to avoid this shoe altogether is this double lasted midsole right here. So right here, you do have a traditional midsole at the back of the shoe with this foam compound and this rubber wrapping around the back of the shoe. That's how traditional basketball shoes are. But with the Shai 001, they did go with a dual lasted midsole in the forefoot where everything is housed within the shoe. So the rubber meets the upper, and that's all there is. Now, for me, this was somewhat problematic right here on the lateral side. Now, on hard, like really hard lateral cuts, when I was making my movements on court, I could feel my foot sliding over the footbed, kind of spilling over the side. And I had these laces cranked inside the shoe. You also do get these eyelets that do run down into the stromal board. So the brand was trying to prevent that, but these eyelets stop right here. So where I was getting most of my issues was right here in the front half of the shoe. And I could like really feel my foot spilling over and just kind of the fit being sacrificed within this model. So I'm not sure how they could fix that if they bring the eyelets further down or if they add some more reinforcement. You can kind of see that they tried to do that right here with this rubber outsole wrap kind of wrapping up your pinky toe, but it was still an issue for me. With the laces cranked down, with the zipper up, I'd be making hard cuts and I could really feel my foot sliding over the footbed. It was an uncomfortable feeling, and it was a feeling of like, I have to adjust while I'm playing with this fit. This double lasted portion right here on the lateral side was a bit problematic on hard lateral cuts. Now, there are many things about the Shai 001 that are fantastic, and that first reason is the traction. This is an absolute elite traction pattern, one of the best traction patterns out right now. I love the fact that the brand did go with a solid rubber outsole. It doesn't collect a ton of dust, and the overall wear and tear on the shoe is not bad for over 40 hours of use. It does wrap up on the medial side right here, kind of like Kyrie models of the past. So the overall coverage as far as the outsole goes is superb. Like it's a 9 out of 10, if not a 9.5 out of 10 traction pattern on this model. It is superb on court. The next thing that I do really love about this shoe here is the cushioning, specifically up front, because at the back of the shoe, you just have an injected Phylon at the back and this little cutout right here with this plastic plate. So it kind of offers this rebound effect at the back of the shoe, even though it only has this Phylon material. Now at the front of the shoe, you do get a zoom bag that runs across from east to west. It is a pretty large volume zoom bag. And the one thing I like about the shoe is that you can feel it underfoot. You can feel the little bit of a bulge underneath the forefoot of your foot with inside of the shoe. And when you're playing in the shoe, you can really feel it propel you forward. You can feel the nice bounce under your foot. And I really enjoy the cushioning up front with this model right here. It definitely reminds me of Kyrie models of the past, just with a low profile zoom air unit within the shoe. And that's exactly what you're getting on the Shai 001. And the last but not least reason why I love the shoe, and I think a lot of people love this shoe, is the design. Now, if you saw his initial sketches that he actually did, it's literally of this shoe with the dual plate at the back, the zipper, and this puffer style wing right here, which I think is really cool. The brand took his design, they refined it and made a performance basketball shoe that looks elegant. It looks amazing in hand and on foot. And probably the biggest reason why I love this shoe, the zipper. I've always loved zippered basketball shoes. I have the Son of Glove up there. I love Flight Posits. I love the Zoom GPs. I've always been kind of infatuated with zipper basketball shoes where you can kind of lace them up. You can put the laces in. It's a clean overall design and aesthetic, and it's no different with this model right here. I think the overlays are nice with the kind of neoprene, the way the shoe is just built at the back being a very supportive basketball shoe. And like I said, that zipper, I think it just looks insanely clean on foot. So that's gonna do it for today's video on 3 reasons why you might want to avoid the Shai 001. Like I said though, there are a ton of reasons to like this model. Another thing that has been rather annoying with this model so far is the availability. Now, I live in Canada, Shai is a Canadian. These shoes are like not available at all. Like each store is getting like one size run of each colorway. There has been a restock today specifically. My local Foot Locker did do a restock, but I work. I can't be running to the mall and trying to grab a pair of shoes here, there, and everywhere. I'm hoping that they do restock online and that the brand does release just more pairs, because we all know how brands typically do it with the new basketball shoes. The first couple colorways are a lot more limited, and then the rest of the colorways become a lot more widely available. But sound off in the comments, have you guys been able to pick up a pair of the Shai 001 with ease? That's the only other thing that I would critique about this model, is the availability. But overall, I do think this is a performance beast if you can get past the lack of breathability, the weight, and of course the somewhat issue with the fit on hard lateral cuts. But like I said, there is a ton to love about this model. But that's going to do it for today's video on the Shai 001. As always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would definitely help the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at Sneaker Tech Talk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.
Look, I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hearse. I've been on a vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of tirade. Talking to their grip in their face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Drill spill from my lips, feel